Okay, so morning everyone. My name is Xiaoyu, and you also can call me Sophie. And here is my topic today: study of specification on electronic documents archiving and electronic records management, which this specification is from China, and it's used for the electronic records management, and can tell you how you're going to do the electronic documents and do the some process, and just more specific is like the standards in China. And here are my subtitle today, and I'm going to introduce a little bit about the specification and the standards in China, two versions, which about the electronic documents, records management in 2002 and 2016, and a little bit review. Just focus on the version 2016 and the summary from myself. Okay, so that's from the introduction. This view is from the specification, and yeah, as you can see, it's from it's called the GB in China. So actually, I'm also confused with why they call the specification in China. Why don't they use a regulation or legislation or the standards? So the specification means here they usually use to write and requirements made by materials, designs, products, or service. Specification is usually a technical standard. There are different types of technical or engineering specifications, which are used differently in different technical contexts. They usually refer to specific documents and or specific information in them. The broad definition of the term specification is clearly or in detail or specific. So they use actually this specification is not the regulation or legislation, because this specification didn't have the the law. They didn't control by the law or something strictly in national. The nation is not too straight in nation, so they just use a specification for this standards, I feel like, and they call this specification use GB and T. So the full name of the GPT is the National Standard of the People's Republic of China. G and B are the beginning letters of the national standards in pinyin. So which means we call the national standards, it's in China, it's called the Guobiao. So this is just the beginning letters of the words which I said. And T is the meaning of recommendation. So which means I recommend you to use this specification. You do not have to follow this specification. I just recommend you to do this like this, like follow my step, follow this each statement. It refers to a class of standards voluntarily adopted through economic means in production, exchange, and use, also known as voluntary standards. Yeah, that mean any unit has a right to decide whether to adopt such standards. If it violates such standards, it will not bear economic or legal responsibility. So which means you do not have to if you do not follow these standards, also you don't have to pay any responsibility. And so for the electronic records management in this specification, so first I need to talk about the electronic records, refer to electronic documents with proof examination and preservation value and archived. Electronic records management mainly includes backup, utilization, statistics, and metadata maintenance of electronic records here. The management of electronic records is a part of this specification, and the premise is to complete the sorting of electronic documents. The concept of electronic documents focus on the value of documents regardless of their retention period. So I just do some interesting interesting sentence here. So I feel electronic documents are like you are doing the ing form in English, and while the electronic archives are in the past form, like the electronic records, which means you already do that, you already do the archiving, and you already do the manage. But the electronic documents, you still can do the documents, like always do the electronic documents, like because the electronic documents can create always create by themselves. So it's just like you keep the documents one day by one day, but the electronic records is just like you just put there in the past time. So I follow the life cycle model with GPT 18894 here. And later I will compare the two versions with the life cycle model. So which I use the life cycle model here. It's like it's going to have like the process here, like through the creation, capture, use, maintenance, disposal, destruction, and archive. Let's just briefly to talk about this life cycle. The creation is which means you do some it's more like the electronic records, or the records where they born, like it's more like you, like when you create some records, like when you talk with your colleague or your friend in the company or the enterprise, like that, and like you are going to talk about something about your work, and that's important, but you didn't do that with like work file yet. So that's already be the records coming. So the records already coming up, and later if you want to do some capture or let it be the work file, so you just need to capture your, like do some like copy your words, or do some capture like that. So about the capture, which means when you create your when you create your records, and you just need to capture your words or your file, and you just capture your records. And about the use, so in my opinion, it's from the after you capture your records, and sometimes you just need to use your records in some phase or in some situation. So like for example, your boss to ask you when did we get some project, like the time and the destination, or some or something other reasons. So you just need to like get your records and said, yeah, both I got this, and you just use that. And about the maintenance, it's like I feel it's like they have a like long way or the just short way. Like if you just need this records for the long way, like this project, for example, the project is about like 1 year you need to finish or half year you need to finish. So actually, like from the start, your records need to follow you like for the 1 year or half year. But if you just this project just like in 1 month can finish or in 2 months, so it's in short way. And about the disposal. So we follow the disposal more like how you can deal with how you can deal with your records. Yeah, just like that. And about the destruction and archives, um, it's more like you can do the destruction or the archive. So it's so for the destruction, so you just need to destroy it, but you also for the life cycle here. Actually, I feel it's like you need to some authorize, you need to have access. You can just destroy it by yourself. So you just like you need to like the public view, public revision. And the archive is like if the just like I said, if the project needs to like have the long time and you just need to keep it forever. And let's talk about the GPT 18894. So here there have a two version, which has the 2002 and 2016. The first one is 2002. And here in the GPT 18894, I will just follow the elements in each specification. And here the first element in 2002 here is a scope in the first. So in the first one is a scope. It's talk about the specification specifies general methods for the formation, accumulation, archiving, storage, utilization, and statistics of electronic documents with preservation value generated in official activities. And yeah, just to give the scope of the specification for someone who need to use this one. And about the normative reference is short here. It just follows the two documents here, the DAT 18 and DAT 22, which are come from China. They just maybe I feel it's like their background in that background, the electronic documents or electronic records are not too popular, so they just can follow this to create a new specification here. And about the terms and definitions, which is electronic records, archival, electronic records, context, metadata, logical filing, physical filing, authenticity, integrity, utility, capture, and migration. So for the electronic here, records here, the Chinese word used in 2002 and 2016 are the same, but the English word are different. In the 2016 version, the word used in the 2002 are replaced by the electronic documents. So actually, even the English word is are the same, but in Chinese are the different. So here is a little bit maybe a little bit complex for the for me and also for the strangers, because Chinese word actually they maybe they just mean sometimes they have the same meaning, and English words I know also have the same word have a different meanings here. And about the general, this general just describes a series of filling and other operations of electronic records, such as formation, storage time, like this. Okay, so let's go to the 5. in the 2002. This is talk about the guarantee of authenticity, integrity, and effectiveness of electronic documents. 5.1 just say that we should have standard systems and working procedures shall be established, and relevant technical measures should be combined to continuously manage and register relevant processing operations from the formation of electronic documents, so as to ensure that the generation and processing process of electronic documents meets the specification. And 5.2 is that the reliable safety protection technical measures should be taken to ensure the authenticity of electronic documents. And 5.3 is an electronic documents integrity management system shall be established, and corresponding technical measures should be taken to collect background information and metadata. So it's more like give you statement 5 is more like give you some characteristic of the specification or the process and the standards. The system here is just to talk about the process, which the process of the electronic records management. And 6 is about the collection and accumulation of electronic documents. The 6.1 is about the collection and accumulation requirements. Like they need to have some requirements for the collection and accumulation. Like when you collect the electronic documents, and there will have some format to you, and how can you do that? Like for example, the 6.1.1 here is talk about because we all know for the formal paper, before we didn't use electronic before, we always use a paper. So how can you transfer the paper to the electronic? How can you transfer your the paperwork to be electronic records in this process? And 6.2, the registration of electronic documents. Here we offer the specification offers the form, which is you need to when you're going to do the electronic documents, and you need to fill the form and have some access authority from your upgrade. So you just electronic documents, you need to for example, you transfer your paperwork to be the electronic documents. So you need to have the form to fill. What kind of the records you transferred? What kind of the paperwork have you record in the computer or somewhere else, somewhere. And 7 is the archiving of electronic documents. So here are the 5 parts, from the archiving requirements to the identification, filling time, inspection, and archiving. So archiving requirements just they have some requirement to you need to follow the time. You need to have some which part, which department you need to follow, which department you need to when you have electronic records, you need to submit your work or submit the form to them. And 7.2 is identification. That you need to, it's like after you do the electronic documents. After that, and you need to like check the electronic records. Does the electronic records finish? Does that have is that truthfully and integrity, effectiveness like this? And 7.3, as we can, it's in the words. It's in the words, which is when can you finish the electronic records? When can you finish the electronic documents? Your filling time and inspection. And it's also, but this one is kind similar as identification, but this inspection is more like going to check the environment, like your electronic environment, something else. And 7.5 archiving. Here is in the 2002. They said you can do it the 2 ways. For the first way, you need to like do some logical, if you numbered your documents from 1 to 5, and you just need to follow the number. You can't just destroy. I mean, just like change your number, like you change the 2 to the 5, or change the 5 to a 2, like this. And the second one is you need to consider about the technical environment, like the software, the data type, and something about the technical. And the 8 is arrangement of archived electronic documents. This one is explained about the arrangement of archived electronic documents, and also they said they follow the DA 22, which is arrangement rule of archival documents. So, which means even the electronic documents, so they still need to like follow the DA, follow the other rules. And in the 9, finally here is about the electronic documents, the handover, receiving, and keeping. So here there are 9 statements here. The handover, about the handover, receiving, the storage requirements, and the procedure, storage requirements, validity guarantee, migration, the utilization, identification, and destruction of the archival electronic documents, and statistics here. All in talk about in the 9. So actually, from through this I mean the specification or the standards here. So maybe you will ask why here it's called the electronic records management, but they didn't mention about the electronic records here. They still use electronic documents. So actually in 2002, so I didn't find the electronic the electronic records here, because they use electronic documents in Chinese, replaced by the electronic records. And also I didn't find answer here, but I found answer in the 2016. So because I found that the they said it's more like what I want to say is that from my national, they feel the electronic records can separate into, like, the first is electronic document and second is electronic records. Electronic documents is document which is like the normal normal electronic records. It's like they didn't have the straight value. They didn't have the electronic document didn't have they just like the yeah, it's like normal records. For example, just like I said before, when you just in the words or the just talk with your friend, talk with your colleague, and that means they didn't become the formal records yet. They just be the records between you and your colleague in company. So that means which means you need to decide, do these records have a value or not. If they have a value, so they become the electronic records. But if they don't have value for you and your company, so they just be the electronic documents. And here is a comparison with the life cycle model. So about the creation, actually, I feel the creation, they didn't do the formal way in the specification or in the standards, but I still give the I still feel that follow the creation here, which is in the terms and definitions. So because the creation, they still need to give the definition about your some terms and some definitions. So I feel the creation in the 2002 in the term and definition. And about the capture, I just found that in the collection and accumulation of electronic documents here, and then finally they just put the use, maintenance, disposal, destruction or archives in the handover, receiving and keeping of archived electronic documents. So which means the author didn't do the any filling here, which is just other statement. They think they need to talk to you, like they need to tell you. And next is a 2016 version. This one also start with a scope, which I feel compared with 2002, actually they didn't do any change there, but they said they give the words is like the value generated, like the electronic documents which need to be valued. Yeah. And second is a normative reference here. So they compared with 2002, they do the more reference. Yeah, they just not only just with like go I mean follows with DAT 18 and 22. They also follow the other standards. Like as you can see here, all this is other like national standards here. And they also follow some ISO. And here, as I said, the term and definitions, they give more definitions here. So like I said before, the electronic documents and the electronic records. So they give the final definition about the electronic, which is electronic documents with evidence. I mean, I should change here. It's more user proof. It's more suitable, and examination and preservation value and archived. And follow down here. They keep metadata, some component, but they add authenticity, reliability, integrity, usability, and business system, electronic records management system, capture, archiving, transfer, registration, conversion, migration. And generation as a same, it gives the general, I feel it's a description of a series of filling and other operations of electronic records, such as formation, storage time, like this. But in this general, they give the new content. It's about the department responsibility. Like they said, they give the small process here, just in a little bit detail. Like this, they feel the electronic records management should manage in like 4 parts, in 4 department. The archive document, the archive department, the electronic documents, creation document, and information document, and secret document. These four departments have they have a different responsibility for the electronic records management. And 5 here is going to change. It's going to change to be a business system and the electronic records management system. So here the system is not the process with electronic records management, is software more clearly here. So it talk about the software which the company can use. Like so which means because you are going to do the electronic records, so you need to have a system to content or the maintain your records. So here gives 4, like the electronic document archiving function of business system, which means the business system, they need to have this function. They need to follow if you are the software company, so and you are going to create or you do the project with the business system, so you need to have a function like this. And second one is a basic function of electronic records management system. And 3 is a records informatization infrastructure. And 4 is a safety management of electronic records management system, which means you need to have a safety environment for the records management system. And 6 is going to talk about the archiving scope of electronic documents. So here is start from the electronic documents, let me show you the electronic records, which is showed here in 8. So which means documents. Which means the documents before the electronic documents before the records created. So in my opinion, I feel you need to have electronic documents first, and then you have electronic records. So 6 is talk about the the scope of the electronic documents, which have like what type of the record, what type of records or documents you need to have. You need to be with electronic documents, and they, like, for example, you can have an image, you can have a voice records, you can have video records, and also have some other the blog or the website, and this all follows different standards in China. And about the 7 collection and arrangement of electronic documents. So they have 2 parts. The first part is the collection of electronic documents and their metadata, which means they give them more specific here about the metadata of the documents. So in this statement, they talk about the which rules or which standards they need to follow, and how they can do in the electronic documents collection. And arrangement of the electronic documents, it's like how they can do the also talk about how they can do the electronic document arrange and follow the which rules or which standards they need to follow. And next is electronic documents archiving and electronic records cataloging. These have there are 6 statements here about the filling procedures and requirements for the electronic documents, filling time and method of electronic documents, filling format of electronic documents, metadata archiving format of electronic documents, and cataloging of electronic records. Records and file number coding requirements here. So actually in 7 and 8, I didn't show the detail about the 7 here, but from my view, the 7 and 8, they mentioned the same thing about the cataloging. So they cataloging the electronic documents and they cataloging the electronic records, which means cataloging actually is important for the electronic records management here. And next is 9 about the management of electronic records. So it just they just talk about like 5 statements in here is storage, backup, utilization, statistics, and maintenance. So from the just from the words I showed here, which means they followed. Even I don't explain, so I feel that you can understand about the storage. You can understand about this 5, which means so storage which means you just how you can store your electronic records, and how you can give some environment about the electronic records. And backup, so backup gives a long statement here, so which means backup is important for the electronic records. They give the backup of the electronic records, like they give the how you can do the backup, and what requirements does electronic records need. So for the backup here, they more talk about the like they talk about more is about the physical way, the physical way, like you do the you keep your electronic records in the like physical way. Like for example, you're using the USB or using some something you can just take away like this. And about the utilization, which means this one is talking about that you should follow the authority, like the electronic records, they need to have authority or the access. And when someone else, like the users, they need to use the electronic records, they need to have they need to have some like access authority about the electronic records. And the statistics, this one is just I feel it's for the users. So which means that they can like you manage the electronic records, you have electronic records number, and so you can the content, but you don't like give the, I feel it's like give the content for the electronic records. Like you can just to view all the electronic records, so you need to have a content to show that show the electronic records. What does this electronic records talk about, or just briefly information about the electronic records. And the maintenance of electronic records metadata. So metadata is also be an important part in the electronic records management. So the maintenance of the metadata, which is also needs to follow and need to like if we don't know how to protect the metadata, so this one can be the good way to show us. And the final one is disposal of electronic records. So it gives a full, I mean they give give the identification and review, conversion and migration and handover and destruction, all in the disposal here. So this one just, but the identification and the review of electronic records is not means this one is not means you need to when you do the electronic records, when you're doing the electronic records management here, you need to have identification or the review. This identification and review just for the electronic records which you have to or you need to destroy. So you need to have identification and review first, and you can choose that you can choose that destroy or archive forever. And about the conversion and migration, it's also, I feel it's important, because when you convert your or you transfer your electronic records, that could be dangerous for the electronic records, because maybe when you transfer or you convert your electronic records, that might have some like data lost in the electronic records, or they might have some like the dangerous about the environment. Yeah, someone if you do not use the too reliable way to transfer your electronic records, the electronic records may get some it's not just only the data lost, also maybe someone else will stolen your records. And handover and destruction, has two words to talk about the handover and destruction here, but it's like the destruction. They have the requirements here, like the which electronic records should hand over or the destruction. And follow the life cycle model here. As we can see, the creation still didn't to mention here. So just the terms and definitions to talk about the to be with creation. And through the capture, is only so if we just talk about the electronic records, so I just put the capture to the electronic documents archiving and cataloging records, electronic records cataloging here, because actually the electronic records cataloging here they're talking about the electronic records management. And about the use and maintenance, as you can see, they are different from the 2002. They didn't be a like one line here. They separate in two. So for the use and maintenance, they give another. They give another way to show the use and maintenance. And finally, about the disposal and destruction or archives, they also separate in other statement to state standards which they want to see. So let's go to the next part about the literature review about the GPT 18894. I just because 2002 is already been past, so and 2002 just be is replaced by the 2016. So I just focused on the 2016 version. So compared with the version 16 and 02, there have some like the summary here is a number of the standard documents based on referred to in the specification in 2016 has been greatly increased and expanded on the basis of the specification in 2002. Which has improved and applicability and universality of the specification. So which is the content, they expand the contents about the specification, and it has a strong guiding role in guiding China's current electronic document archiving and electronic records management. This is the mean. Which is mean for the 2002 to change to the 2016, and who use through the literature review, who will use the 2002 the specification. So actually it is applicable to the filling and management of electronic documents generated in the process of handling official business by organs, organizations, enterprise, and institutions and other organizations. The courses of filling and management of electronic documents generated in other activities shall be implemented by reference. And other review is from others, like others literature. So actually for this specification, each company they has a different understanding about the specification from a different perspective. And in any case, whatever, when facing the actual work, we have to unify to a certain method for the time being. This is a role that standards such as a code can play. So actually, because the different, they have a different types, they have a different technical, they have different concept. So they may have a different perspective for the specification, like which statement they can, which statement they can follow, which statement they need to, they can use. So it's important. It's they have different response. So the specification have a different role, different value for the different company. So for the summary here, from the summary is from myself. So at present, this specification is still recommended by the state and is not mandatory, indicating that the state considers that it is unlikely to use the same management mode under the different background and structure of each company or the organization, and needs to combine with its own needs. So for me, I just consider why the 18894 is not the regulation or legislation. It's just a specification, and which is just recommend you to use that. So I think it's like this. But I still have some, and here is a for the GBT 18894, it's only the recommended by the state used for the companies or enterprise. And each statement uses should as the beginning of the sentence, reflecting that each company or the enterprise needs to follow the standards according to its own organizational structure. But I still have some, like, just from my opinion, like the specification I think they should statementically summarize the management of electronic records, such as 5.3 record systems in ISO 15489. This one is so what is 15489 ISO here, which is information and documentation records management. So this document didn't too detail in the electronic records management, but I feel this one also can give us an idea or some company the opinion about the electronic when we're doing the management of the electronic records. So I view this ISO. I view this document and I found that they have record systems in about the records, the management of the records. And this record system is not like it's not like I mentioned in the electronic record management. It's not the 5.3 is more like the process here. Like talk to you like the 5.3, which includes characteristics of the whole management process, matters needing attention in the process, and the reason for the archives filling like this. So, but in the GBT 18894, I didn't see the process or the characteristics in the documents or in the specification. So I feel the 18894, if they can give the process like the statements here is more better, like to show the others, like how you can do in the records management, and what do you need to attention in the records management. Okay, so that's all for my presentation here. Thank you all for the watching.
Right. Okay, thank you, Sophie, so much for your presentation. It is quite impressive. And also the next session that we are going to have is supposedly to be the session for Vince.